why Mashiach is not coming now, or how can we do to bring Mashiach now? And his concept is, and you've heard this probably, that if we all go to Israel, if we start making a move to Israel, we can't just simply pray. It's prayer plus action is the way to bring Mashiach, which is this unique approach, which is antithetical to what he was being told by a lot of the other Gedolim in the early 40s. If you want Mashiach to come, you got to pray and pray and pray. You got to do tshuva. You got to be holy and spiritual. All the people who are broken with tradition are keeping back Mashiach. All the Zionists who moved to Israel are keeping back Mashiach. He says no, the other way around. If we want Mashiach to come, we have to take our own first steps. We have to combine prayer together with action. And those who already moved to Israel, they actually took the first steps. The reason Mashiach hasn't come is because they're the only ones who did it, and we have not done it yet. We're still here.
But maybe they moved to Israel, but they're not praying.
That maybe that too, but in other words, what he's going to say is the actual action is as important. So maybe one balances the other. You don't have to do A plus B, right? But just the action is as important as prayer. So if you move to Israel, it's going to have more of an impact than simply praying without moving. Or moving without praying is more important than praying without moving, I guess is what he's going to say.
Yeah, because if we all picked up our bags today, and every one of us moved to Israel,
well, that's part of bringing Mashiach.
You think that would bring Mashiach? I mean, that would be a guarantee?
Oh, Rabbi Teichler would say yes. I don't know, but we don't know. We don't know what this Mashiach really is.
Right.
Okay, he's surely not Netanyahu. Sorry?
We all have to move though, but we all have to be trying to.
So Rav Teichler's approach and this is what makes it a radical approach, is he was saying that the people who are not Shomer Torah mitzvos, they're also doing good stuff. They're not perfect, as felt, they're not doing, but they've done certain things that he has not done by living in Hungary. And all the religious Jews who are in Hungary who are now being swept up in the Holocaust, those who moved to Israel, the Zionists who are, not religious or secular, they're anti-religious in some ways, they are actually taking the first steps that should lead the rest of us there. It's a very unique approach. Mm-hmm. You may not agree fully with it. It's settling in.
No, but it's
bubbling through.
Yeah.
But there's supposed to be Kedusha service Israel also.
Correct. Yes.
But does that only claim to the...
But the Kedusha Eretz Yisrael is not going to help it. Does it only apply to Datiyim?
Yeah.
It means, he thinks what he's going to say is that, let's go through what he says. But he's basically saying if they were there and we will be there, and everybody will go there, then everybody will eventually become Datiyim. That's where the hope is.
I mean, if every Jew...
In other words, the powers will multiply and turn everybody Datiyim, which of course is not what it is today.
Yeah.
Right, and of course it's very far from it. It's a very fractured society. But I did want to say one thing, and I did say this once, that the people who live in Israel today, the non-Dati people, the non-religious, non-Dati, not Dati, in some regards keep mitzvot without thinking they're keeping mitzvot. There are national holidays that they recognize, they represent. So whereas Yom Kippur, they may not be going to Shul, but Yom Kippur is a place that everything is closed. The highways are empty. I'm not saying it's the right thing to do, but I'm saying this kind of person is going to be holier in Israel than the same comparable person who comes to Toronto who loses their identity altogether. One of the challenges we have is Israelis who move to Toronto. Riding bicycles is only rabbinic prohibition. He said they're riding bicycles. So riding.
There's a big rush in this because I've never seen a city where the streets are empty like that.
They're
phenomenal.
Right. What Harold is saying is they're not actually recognizing the importance of Yom Kippur. You're right. And they're riding a bicycle is probably not the worst thing in the world on Shabbat. It's wrong, but the reason is probably only a rabbinic prohibition that you may come to have to fix your bicycle. It's only, but I'm saying it's not really. It's definitely not one of the 39 cardinal principles of Shabbat. Not one of the Avot Malach. It's not a Doraisa. So, but the truth is, they're probably also riding their cars here and there in the back streets. You just don't see them on the highway on Yom Kippur. I don't know. You don't see them. See people walking around riding bicycles, rollerblading.
You got a ticket there for.
If you're riding on Yom Kippur, maybe. All I'm trying to say is these people. I'm not saying these people are perfect. This same person who on Yom Kippur in Dizengoff is going to be riding the bicycle when he comes to Toronto, after a very short period of time, doesn't see any difference on Yom Kippur at all. I see it. I live with these people. This is what Thornhill is. Okay, their kids go up to the public schools, and then the kids have lost everything. Yes, Dan.
I just wanted to make a comment that Netanyahu is for sure not the Mashiach. That say that neither is
take it off the tape.
Neither is Lapid or Rabbi or anybody from the left.
Right.
I just wanted to add.
Okay, but we're not going to do politics here. Okay, there you go.
Absolutely.
True. And the non-religious are sometimes anti-religious, so that's also a problem. Correct. It's not just live and live. Anyways, let's go see what he says here, because this, I think, a very key piece of what the belief of what his argument is, that if you really want to be successful and bring Mashiach, you actually have to, you got to really walk the walk, as they would say. You have to kind of make sure that it happens. And he's going to actually bring, and we'll get to a story about an interesting individual called Peretz Gabbai, who was the assistant to the Rebbe of Kamarna, and you'll see what he says, and it's a perfect example of why you have to walk the walk and not just simply pray the pray. Okay, so let's begin with 108 in the Hebrew, and it's on 156 on the bottom. And we're going to, as I told you, we're going to follow this abridged version. So some of the stuff, actually most of the stuff in front of us, we're going to be doing before we begin skipping again. And after all the difficulty, God showed me. You want a Hebrew? Yeah. There is a Hebrew here, okay? Pages 108 in the Hebrew. And after all the difficulty and toil, God showed me the answer. I was enlightened to find out the reason. Why the galut is so long. After we've already really reached the time when we should be going to Eretz Yisrael, and Mashiach should become. Why we've prayed all these longs? V'hinei Hosea Navi Omer, v'acharei shuvo v'achar sheyishuvu b'nei Yisrael bikshu ad Hashem Elokechem v'David Malkam pachadu Hashem ve'altuvo b'achrit hayamim. So the prophet Hosea says that at the end of time, that they will come back and they'll seek HaKadosh Baruch Hu, and they will ask HaKadosh Baruch Hu for HaKadosh Baruch Hu and David and Pachadu al Hashem, they'll fear God and the Tuvo B'achrim and God's goodness to the end of days. And Chazal say what this refers to. V'acharamru Chazal al-Pasuk zeh lo galu Yisrael mishum shemasu b'nei Yisrael shlosh dvarim. They were exiled because of three things. One, Malchut Shamayim, Malchut David Beit Mikdash. This is the part we did last time. They were exiled because they rejected the Malchut Shamayim, the kingdom of heaven, the kingdom of David they didn't appreciate, and they didn't appreciate the Beit Mikdash. And things will not be good until they return and request these three things themselves. As it says, they will return and ask for Hashem, which is asking for Malchut Shemayim. They want God's presence, and David Malkam, they want David or Mashiach to come. They'll want the fear of God, which was given to them by the awe of God in the Beit Mikdash. So Kama Da'at Amar L'Vahara Tov Hazeh, like the Beit Mikdash is called this good mountain, so they will want that which inspires them for God's good. That's the Beit Mikdash. When it says El Hashem V'El Tuvo, Tuv refers to the Beit Mikdash. Ad Kan Daito. V'Keinu B'Agadat Medrash Shmuel is found in Medrash Shmuel, which is Agadata, Rashisham. And Malkut says the same thing. The Jewish people only exiled because they despised the land of Israel. That they despised the land that was, beloved to them, or the land they wanted. And what it's all saying basically is, if we want to bring Mashiach, we've got to come back. They were exiled because they despised it. Now, if they want to bring it back, they got to ask for it. They got to do it. And the Rashi, the Chol Shloshet Dvar Manal Klulim. All these three things are really found and take place in Israel. They want to have God's presence. They want to have Malchut Beit David. They want to have Beit Mikdash. This is all Israel stuff. So you can only have these three things in Israel. The Kol Adar Beit Yisrael, Doma Kamish Yeshlo Lo Kak Yador. Anyone who lives in Israel, the Gemara in Muksuva says at the end, like you have a God. If you live outside of Israel, you have no God. The Malchut Beit David, he Eretz Yisrael, and the Malchut Beit David was in Israel. The Beit Mikdash was also Vaday Rak Eretz Yisrael. And therefore what this is really saying is, if you want to have all these three things come back, you've got to get back to Israel. You've got to actually be in Israel to make this really happen. And look in the Medrash Shochar Tov, the Megafabi made David Hayarak Ashlo Bikshu Beit Mikdash. The reason there was a plague on the time of David when he counted the Jewish people was because they didn't really want the Beit Mikdash. The people didn't want the Beit Mikdash. As I said earlier, V'yasam Medrash Kavachom, and the Medrash makes the Kavachom. Ma b'mei David she'od lo haya Beit Mikdash nen shosh lo bikshu al zeh. If in the days of David HaMelech they were punished according to the Medrash that they didn't ask for a Beit Mikdash, which they didn't yet have, and Anushak Far Hayalan of Venechram, we who had and it was destroyed, Alachat Kama Vakama Shnei Nashim Al Sheinon Mavakshim Etzel. So we're surely going to be punished if we didn't really ask for it. Lefikach Tiknu Litpalel Al Bniyat Yerushalayim Shlosh Mim B'chol Yom. Therefore we pray for building Yerushalayim 3 times in the Shemona Esrei every day. So the whole idea is that we want to have the coming back to Israel and building the Beit Mikdash and everything. Having Mashiach is only if you're back in Israel. So therefore, V'yatah Kama Gam Netzivat Kushat Gdolei Olam Anal. And now, the question of the people, the Gedolim before, is even stronger. So why don't we have the Beit Mikdash now? Halo Anu Mitpalim Azeh Kama V'Kama Shonim is Manach U'Banatah. So why don't we have it now? We're praying 3 times a day. If this is what the Medrash says, you want it, you got to pray for. We're praying. V'imkein Kfar Netkayim Bana Mikvah V'Kshuat Hashem Lekechem V'et David Malkam. We want the Hashem. We want God's presence. We want David. We want Mashiach. We want the Beit Mikdash. So our prayers includes all of this. We have a Semach David Tasmiach, we have L'Shleim Rechov Rachmim Tashuv, we have asking for God's presence. Why are we not answered? We didn't go back to, we haven't gone back to Eretz, we haven't gotten Beit Mikdash, we haven't returned to where we're supposed to be. We don't see good things happening. Rabbi Shimon ben Menashe Omer, Ein Marin Siman Tov L'Yisrael Ad Shiachzu V'Yavakshu Shloshtam. And Rabbi Shimon ben Menashe says it only happens when we will ask and do all these things. Halo anu osim, we do it. Malo osim kein mizeh kama shlosh palim b'chol yom. We do it multiple 3 times during a day, and we still be adayin lo hera lanu ezer simatov shlatava. We don't see it, but what? So why does it not happen? So here's where the reason is. So the answer is as follows: Achatirutz is at bottom of 108, and this is the 158 on the new paragraph. Achatirutz zehu kach bezrat Hashem v'akdim. I'll explain to you, and I'll quote you a little bit from a piece from the Talmud in Masechet Nida. Ma yaseh adam v'yachkam yarbu b'yeshiva. So the Talmud says, what do you want? What should a person do if he wants to become wise? You want to get wisdom. What should you do?
Learn.
So he says, Marbi b'shiva, you should sit and learn, you should sit and study. So Amru, and so they said, well, harbe arsu v'lohu Elohem. So the Gemara says, well, you know what, many people have done some, and they haven't become the big wise people. So what should be, El yivakesh rachmim misha chachma shelo. You should actually ask rachmim, you should ask mercy from the person who has wisdom from the Almighty. Shenemar ki Hashem yitein chachma mipiv. Okay, in other words, it's not enough to learn, you've got to pray for God to grant you wisdom as well. So that's what the Gemara says. And my kamashmalan, the ha below ha lo sagya. The one without the other is not enough. Then the Gemara says, Ma yaseh adam v'yid yasher. What should a person do to become rich? Yarbe b'schora, should be involved in do a lot of business. You want to be rich, you got to do investments. So the Gemara says, well, 1 second. Harbe asu came v'lo ho'ilu. Many people did this and they didn't become millionaires. They lost it all. Ella yivakesh rachmim mishe osher shlo. You should ask God mercy from the person who has all the osher from the Almighty. You want to be rich? Pray to God. Shenemar li kesef liya kesef azal. Pasuk says in Chagai, I God said as gold and silver. So once again, the ha b'ha lo sagi. One without the other is not enough. Ma yaseh adam v'yelo banim zcharim. What should a person do when they're blessed with male children? Male children better than female children. Right? So amalo, so they say Yisa isha hogenetlo. A person should marry the right woman. A woman with good midot and everything who's good and proper and adjusted to him, a proper complement to who he is. So they're going to say, you know what? Harber asukain v'lo ho'ilu. You know what happened? Many people got married. They didn't have great male children. Ella yivakesh rachmim misha ban shlo. They ask mercy from the Almighty. And it says, Hinei nachlat Hashem banim. The nachlat Hashem, the inheritance of Hashem, is children. So therefore, pray to God. And what teaches us what the ha b'loha lo sagi. So this is the Gemara. It talks about 3 things: wisdom, riches, and descendants. Right? So in all of them, it first says you should try something, and then says you got to pray to God. So what does that mean? Does it mean is the answer the Gemara say rejecting to try? Or is the answer the Gemara saying try plus you have to pray? So logic would say that you can't have children if you don't get married, or you don't have relations with a woman. right? You can't make money unless you invest the money. Right, but with the Gemara, and you can't.
You win the lottery. I mean,
you have to buy the ticket.
Invest the money, and then you pray.
Right. But in other words, so what the Gemara is saying is not that you shouldn't do this, just pray to God. Besides investing the money, you have to pray to God. They both go hand in hand. Right? You understand it clearly when it talks about children. You can't just simply pray to God and have children. It doesn't happen like that. There's a natural phenomenon. You can't get wisdom unless you open a book. You can't say, God, I'm going to be illiterate and sit under the tree and the wisdom will just flow in my head. I've got to learn how to become a learner and study and become a scholar, and still got to ask God to make sure the study stays with me.
So, Rabbi, can I ask a question? You want to?
I want to move a little ahead, okay?
Go ahead.
So you see from this, there are three things that are very, very different that man's life depends on it. And Hodienu Chazal, Daha Beloha Lo Sagi. One without the other. Action without prayer, and prayer without action is not enough. Tefillah Below Esek, Gesi Below Tefillah Mahani. Business with God, prayer without business without prayer is not enough. Umizat Hadan L'Cholin Yonei Hodam, L'Chon Yonem Shabalam. And from this you learn for everything in the world. Lo Sagi Habal Beloha. You can't simply pray for something and not do it. You shouldn't just rely upon prayer alone. You won't accomplish anything. And therefore, and this is what it means, about the same thing with the children, and, right? You can learn from all the inyanim from this as well. And the Beit Yosef says this as well in the name of the Mizrahi, that the Torah tells us in three places, you can't feed treif to a child. So you learn from this that you have to do things that actions are really important. Okay, and just and I'm going to go through to the next paragraph. I learned, I remembered a case that happened, a real true story from a Nebuch kind of guy. One of the Hasidim of the court of Rabbi Lezer Mikamarna, that this holy rabbi, this Rebbe he had a shamas. He had an old single bachelor who was his shamasol. Right? He was his attendant. He was his assistant. Right? Shalom. He never got married. He was a bachelor for life. Shalom nasai isha. He was not fully, completely in a mental state. He was a bit of a weak kind of brain. He never got married. He was a schleppy kind of guy. What did he do for a living? He was the Rebbe Shamas. He was perfectly suited for this, but he just wasn't from the big Chachamim. He did where he got food for the Rebbe, he prepared for the Rebbe, he opened the door for the Rebbe. He did everything. He was the standard attendant, the standard Shamas for a Rebbe, which you don't need big brains for. You just need to shuffle along and do what you're supposed to do to make sure everything is prepared for the Rebbe. The Rebbe was the brains. So the people once said to him, and he was called the Vayonik Rab Pishmo Peretz Gabbai. Everybody called him Peretz Gabbai, the Gabbai Peretz. So they asked him once, Shalo to Peretz, Lama inatano seisha. Okay, we understand you're shamas, why aren't you married? So Shivi responded, Lama leisha, why do I need a child? Why do I need a wife? Everything I need, I have the Rebbe gives me. What do I need a wife for? I'm taken care of. So they said, it's true, Amrullah, you're right, but halol adam tzarech banim. You need. He says, what about children? Rebbe can't give you. Where are you going to get children from the Rebbe? You need a wife for children. So Anola he said to them, Banim. What do I achieve? Children? If I want children, attain Piskol Rebbe, I'll give a kvittel to the Rebbe to ask for children, v'yeli banim, and I'll get children. The Rebbe will give me children. He gives them the quote here. Ich vol geben a kvittel zum Rebbe, vol ich haben Kinder. Everything that I need, I go to the Rebbe and get. So if I want kids, I'll write a kvittel to the Rebbe, I'll give a little request, and he'll give me children. Okay, Shigidu, the very parents of the Rebbe, and when they told the Rebbe what the parents said, he said as follows. Upon him veres for lust of zich of ganzen oifen rabin had upon him via Peretz, a face or a person who relies upon everything of the Rebbe to do, like including the children. This kind of person is going to look like Peretz. This will be Peretz the Gabbai. In other words, this is his problem. He believes that he has this very innocent belief that everything comes from the Rebbe, and the Rebbe himself is the one who. Remember, he's a Rebbe, so he answers everything. But you're still going to have your own shtadlut. You can't ask for children if you don't have a wife. So therefore, now he writes in the Hebrew, Misha mistamech atzmo legam el Rebbe, Rabo yesh lo panim k'mo peretz. Ve'hein in the Gemara, this is really what the Gemara is saying. Ma yaseh adam she'en lo banim yisa isha. If you want children, marry a wife. It doesn't work, so you have to daven. But kamash on the hablo halo tali, the tefillah below nisiyad isha lo sagi. With lo peretz gabay shesamach atzmo la tefillah lechush yitpalel bado Rebbe v'hu lo yisa isha. Not that he'll go to the Rebbe and the Rebbe will get him a child. Al kol panim namad min hashas anal the misha samech atzmo legam el tefillah lechud v'in masazeh klal b'davar yesh lo panim k'mo peretz agabe. You're simply going to pray and do nothing about it physically, you'll end up being peretz agabe.
Rabbi, today this doesn't apply anymore because people can have children without having a wife.
Yeah, but he won't. But not the Rebbe. The Rebbe, but not the people who go to the Rebbe.
I'm just saying that today there are many singles that have a woman have a child for that.
So, but
and then they whatever.
So you still need a womb.
For sure, you need a woman.
He doesn't need a wife. He doesn't need
don't need a wife. Is what I'm saying.
Right. So he doesn't need a wife. So this, of course, this is old school, right?
Yeah.
But so replace the word wife for woman.
Okay.
So if you want to have children, with any form that you're going to call them, however you talk about the genealogy, you do need to have a womb. We have not yet up to the fact of completely artificial gestation. We have artificial insemination. We don't have artificial gestation all the way to the end of pregnancy. Maybe one day we will.
For sure.
Okay? Maybe one day we will.
I have a question on the building of the Beis HaMikdash.
Yes.
We say we need to have people there to start building.
Yeah.
But there is the opinion that the Beit HaMikdash should come from Hashamayim.
Right. So
just land.
So what Rav Teichler would say is, yes, possibly, but first you got to get to Eretz Yisrael for the Beis HaMikdash to land. It's not going to land if everybody's not in Israel.
Okay, but it's not inside this argument that I have to go to build, to start building.
He's not talking about starting to build the Beis HaMikdash. He's saying all these three things about Beis HaMikdash, Mashiach, and Malchus Hashem is that they're all taking place in Israel. He's not saying that we're going to do it on our own by building the Beis HaMikdash.
Right,
he means
I can daven here for the Beis HaMikdash to come down.
No, but he's saying that all these three things can only take place in Israel, so at least you need to get to Israel. No one says that when the Beis HaMikdash flies down from heaven that you're simply going to fly across the sky yourself. You're still going to have to take a plane.
So you need the Jews to be there to witness it.
That's what, or he's going to say that's going to enhance it and accelerate the process to come. That's why I started by saying that all these three things are all in Eretz Yisrael.
Right.
So yes, you can pray for the Beis HaMikdash. You can't build the Beis HaMikdash yet because you don't know how to build it. Right?
We know how to build it. We have the plan.
Yeah, but
we
so
don't have
without
plans,
saying that you won't come down if there is nobody there.
There are those people who say that you can build a Beis HaMikdash, right? And there, for example, there was Rav Tzvi Hirsch Kalisher who wrote a sefer Drishat Zion in the end of the 19th century, beginning of the 20th century, which he argued for the fact that we have to start trying to bring korbanot. Because we know we can't build the Beis HaMikdash, but we know where the Beis HaMikdash was, and you can build, and certain korbanot you can bring even without a Beis HaMikdash, and you're actually going to see that in the Masechet Megillah in the next two sides. It talks about when there were times to build a Bama, what korban you can bring. You can bring a korban Pesach without having a building a Beis HaMikdash, and if everybody is Tamei, you can build a korban Pesach. So he argued that you could bring a korban Pesach today, even without a Beis HaMikdash, even if we're Tamei. And that's really, there are people today who want to try to do that, as you know, and they don't allow them. Right? The government is very opposed to this. This will create a riot, which they're very concerned about. They'll create a riot, and who knows what it would be, and they feel it would be deleterious and destructive, and they view these people as fanatics, and so to speak. But that's a whole discussion. But that's what he felt, that if you want to bring Mashiach along, very similar to what Rav Teichler said, and he wrote it actually before him, then go get together and go up to Har HaBayit, bring a Korban Pesach. Now it's not so simple. There were a lot of issues that were not really dealt with in Rav Tzvi Kalisher in Drishat Zion. But it's the same idea. Do what you can do. So he's not saying build the Beis HaMikdash. He says get to Israel, and you'll be ready in place.
So he's saying here that in order to bring Mashiach, we have to move to the land of Israel.
You got to take steps.
We spent 40 years wandering in the desert.
Yes.
To get to the land of Israel.
Yes.
We get to the land of Israel, and we're kicked out of the land of
400
Israel.
years. We're not kicked out right away. We kicked out because we didn't appreciate it. That's exactly what it says.
But is it because we detest, because according to this, he says, we detested the land of Israel.
Yes.
Or is it that the land of Israel detested us?
So it's the fact that we didn't appreciate Malchut Shemayim, we didn't appreciate the Beit Mikdash because we started worshiping idols. We were not worshiping only, we brought idols into the Beit Mikdash, not you and me, the kings, the others.
Yeah.
So we didn't appreciate the sanctity of the land of Israel. So we didn't, and the Torah says we didn't keep the Shemitah cycles.
But we knew that from before, before reaching there.
Whatever we knew, we didn't do it. Practically speaking, facts on the ground, we didn't do what we're supposed to do.
Yeah.
All right. So if you have something and you don't take care of it, you're going to lose it.
Yeah. So I'm thinking along the lines of how the people had to be, the one generation had to be sort of not wiped out, but had to be set aside in order for the children of these people to inherit the land of Israel. Is that correct?
Well, they were slave people. Yes, the generation of the
wilderness.
wilderness.
The generation
True.
that wandered in the desert had to die off in
Right.
order for the other people. Maybe it's the same thing today. I think in order to inherit the land of Israel as we speak of it today, the generation that we are in now has to disappear.
This is a very radical kind of statement, and I would not want to disappear so quickly.
No, neither do I. Neither do I.
The rumors of my demise are greatly exaggerated.
No.
So quite honestly, I don't know which generation should disappear, and if anything, you can argue, Albert, you can argue exactly the other way around. More people are moving to Israel than have ever moved before, or not ever moved before. There's more people in Israel today than ever lived before.
Yeah,
so
but
people
Israel
are moving.
has never been more secular than ever before.
True. Okay.
True, but they also have never had as many yeshivot.
Right. So there's more of both. There's more of both. Right. Yeah.
One thing I'm missing: how would nowadays offer a korban pesach would bring Mashiach?
I didn't say it would bring Mashiach. Would it bring
make us closer to Mashiach?
I didn't say that.
What's the idea?
What's the idea of doing it?
Yeah.
The idea of doing it is a mitzvah in the Torah. Okay. Now we've had all these thousands of years that we haven't done it. We've forgotten what it means, and we don't. Maybe in our modern sensitivities, that bringing sacrifice is something that would stand out as somewhat raw. Mm-hmm. Right? Slaughtering animals and tossing blood is not something you really get to see to do anymore. I agree. But nonetheless, at the same time, the Torah talks about it. Now, I actually asked this question when I was at the Machon HaMikdash a number of years ago. I said, how do you think this is really going to go over, the Temple Institute? How do you think it's going to go over when they start bringing animals up onto the Temple Mount, and it's going to look like a packing house, and they're throwing all the blood around and all that? So,
how are you going to do that?
So I'll tell you what the answer they gave me, which it's not fully correct, but they said, it's like we go into the supermarket today. You don't have to go to the back room where they're cutting the side of beef. Right, you just see it. It's all wrapped up into the display case. You want ribs. You want a steak. So you just take it out. You don't have to go into the back where all the messy stuff is going on. So they're suggesting there will be some kind of contraption like that. It doesn't have to be that that you're going to be standing under the hot sun. Maybe they'll have air conditioners. I can only tell you this is their idea. Now it's very difficult to imagine how this will take place. If you do any serious study about how the covenant was brought, I don't know how it would take place, how it would be, but that's...
About chickens, you've seen shit of chickens.
Yes.
It's all automated.
It is. You don't see the shit of chickens anymore.
You don't see it.
Right. We don't see the chickens. We don't even see that. We don't kasher. Your parents... my mother used to kasher chickens when I was a little kid, right? They used to have a kashering board on the sink. Mm-hmm. Okay, we probably all remember that.
Yeah.
And before that, they used to take the chicken to the shaychet, and then came along Empire chickens, and they automated the line, and this became the assembly line. And they came up with a new concept how to defeather chickens on an assembly line, which was a breakthrough in the 1960s. How to defeather chickens with cold water. Because you can't use hot water to defeather chickens on a belt, which is what all the Goyish companies were doing, because then you're going to cook the chicken before it's salted. So you had to come out with a cold water depucking machine. They have a machine. It looks like a car wash. The chicken goes through. I don't know how it happens inside, but it goes through.
Alive or dead?
No, they're dead. They're going on the belt, and it goes through all these brushes.
It looks like fake chicken.
Well,
If you're used to the old,
And yet you still
it
put
looks
chickens
white.
in there.
Yes.
It's a very whitish look.
Yes, correct. Anyway, so all I'm saying is we don't know how it's going to be, but it is. You're right. It does look kind of raw to go and bring korbanot. I agree. But then for a vegetarian, eating meat looks kind of raw.
No, my question was more.
Why should we do it?
Why would people think about offering a korban pesach?
The Torah tells us to do this.
But
That's the answer.
One mitzvah among many.
One more mitzvah. So the answer is every mitzvah is valid, and not only every mitzvah. This is a mitzvah on Har HaBayit, on the Temple Mount. Now we've just gotten so used to the fact that it doesn't happen. And the truth is, Judaism is about traditions. When you've gone this many hundreds and thousands of years, you forget what the traditions are. Mm-hmm. But if you go back to it, you say, well, this is what the Torah says, and now we have an opportunity to do so because we have the Temple Mount, but we don't have the Temple Mount, but we have the Temple Mount, so why shouldn't we do it? And you'll be carrying out everything we just read last Shabbos. We just read the whole story of bringing Korban Pesach.
But the next question will be, how many animals? I mean, everybody has to offer
That's true.
a Korban Pesach, so we're talking about
logistics.
Hundreds of thousands
Logistics.
of animals.
Yes.
I say let's first take Mashiach.
Correct. Well, so I'm just saying you want to know why. Rav Tzir Shkelesher's Sefer actually posits, and this is to some extent more radical than Rav Teichel. Rav Tzir Shkelesher says if we want to bring Mashiach, we actually have to start doing these pieces of what would take place in Har HaBayit to get stuff done. Which Rav Teichel doesn't say that. Rav Teichel says just get to Israel. So
you have to show it a desire to do it.
Correct.
We start to do more and more.
In Yerushalayim, there is a place.
And it's not
There's a
100,000
sect
because they
Yes.
come in
Where they
groups
build
for
a
one
model.
korban
Yes.
pesach. You can have many people
Mechon
waiting for this.
HaMikdash.
Mechon HaMikdash, yeah.
Temple,
For the
that's
same
why I went
korban.
there.
My
And I said to him, they took me around, they gave me tours. I said to him,
Everybody has to be registered.
so I said to him, how do you
that's
get
right.
this is great.
They
Okay,
had
wonderful. We
two
get everything
shows.
here in
Yes,
this
yes.
museum.
It would be many,
But what's
not
going to happen when you
thousands.
start throwing the blood around up there in Har HaBayit? What are people going to say? They're not used to seeing this. So they said to me, it's going to be like you go into the supermarket. You order the animal. You get your piece. It's going to come in Saran wrap. It's going to go to the counter in a refrigerated area, and it's going to have your name on it. And then you're going to eat it like you have like a chicken.
You take it home
Is
and
it
cook it.
going to be COR or?
This is all separate topics. This is really the discussions. But practically speaking, there's one group which really wants to try to do it on their own. They want to bring one korban pesach, they can't do it. So that's a much larger discussion. All I'm just saying is, according to Rav Teichel, the idea of getting to Israel is the first step, and that's why he's suggesting. And this is the key. I don't want to lose sight of the trees because of the forest, but this is why Rav Teichel is saying that if you want to know why our prayers are not really being responded to, they're not responded to because we haven't made the first steps. Everybody's very happy where they are here and they're not moving. Because we're not moving, so consequently nothing is really happening to our Kadosh Baruch Hu is going to help answer our prayers because we're not...
And Mashiach himself has to be from Israel, is that correct?
Yeah. And so we have to move to Eretz Yisrael. When we get to Eretz Yisrael, we're going to understand the beauty of Eretz Yisrael. We'll all do tshuva. When everybody does tshuva, then we're going to move to the next step. But you got to start by going to Israel. And his premise is, it's not just, once again, you asked about the non-religious people. When enough people will move to Eretz Yisrael and all the religious people move there, the wisdom of the beauty of Eretz Yisrael, the spirituality of Eretz Yisrael will have such an impact upon us that suddenly we'll begin to think differently and appreciate Israel. Now, you can argue, of course, that in the year 2019, year 2019, that has not happened. And many religious Jews have moved to Israel, and we have a society. Yes, okay, I can't deny that. This Rav Teichel is frozen in time in 1942, 1943. Okay, let's go more. We want to continue a little more here. Okay. So that was the story. So the story of Peretz Gaba is a great story and shows you, of course, that if you don't do certain practical things, nothing will happen with all your prayers. Okay, now where am I up to? I lost my place here. So this is Veinero Iti. This is on Palm of 109 and and in one middle of 159. I found a sefer from one of the great scholars, and he doesn't really know the name of the sefer at this point because he can't find it. And if you look in the footnote star below it, in the footnote number 10, he says, I don't know because I don't have Sfarim with me, because I've been running around and going from place to place. Who says, Shabira Katuv Shamar David, what the pasuk says, David says, Achashu Altimit Hashem Osa Avakesh, Shifti Veit Hashem Kol Mechayai. One thing I asked Hashem, Shoalti, I asked, is that Osa Avakesh, that I am Avakesh, that I'm requesting. So there are two verbs that are used here. One is Shoalti, I asked, and the other is Avakesh, I requested. I'm not sure how to translate them. So Shamdu Kol Mafarshim Al Bakef Alashon Shelati and Avakesh. Shoalti, I should say not Shelati. Shoalti, I asked, and Avakesh. Ma'u Shela Mavakasha. What's the two difference between the two verbs? Halo Chati. V'katav Lavaer Al Piag Mara Denidan Al. The Ha Blo Ha Lo Mahani. The Bakasha and Sheila are really relating to the Gemara we just did. If a person just prays alone, that's not sufficient. Even the greatest kavanah, until he actually does it, to show that he's actually requesting by doing the actual action. And therefore they both have to be done together to make it actually seem to occur. And therefore they're going to go together. He doesn't sit at all in Beit Medrash, but he wants to be a scholar. He wanders around in open places, in the markets. Even if he cries all day with praise, with crying, he didn't do anything. But if he'll do his own, right, he'll learn and he'll study, to open for him the gates of wisdom, and that's what Sheila Bakasha means. Sheila is tefillah, he's asking from God the request, the answer, the questions of his heart. Bakasha is doing things to request it physically. He wants to get to for the things that he wants to get. How should you say? Zochen, I don't know how to translate it. Zochen, v'ener zocht, nor ener zachen. That he's looking for a zach, he's looking for something, a specific thing by doing it. I will get up and I will go circle around all the city and the marketplace. I will seek what my heart, my beloved, and the lover is looking for his beloved by getting up and looking all around for them. So that's I will seek. How am I seeking this? Seeking this is by seeking his doing. So therefore, Sheila is about prayer, and Bakasha is about doing things like Bakesh Shalom Rafaheo, seek peace. You're going to make overtures, do things. To run after Shalom with Paul of Maseh, and so forth. Another Yiddish word. He doesn't look, he won't find. Okay, and this is what David means when he says Achat Shualti. He says Achat Shualti made Hashem Asavakei Shivti Veis Hashem Koi Mechayei Hainu Shel David Amar Shezot. This is what I'm asking from Hashem. Shivti Veis Hashem Koi Mechayei Go Gamoto Shavakesh B'Paul Masam. I'm also asking it B'Paul practically. But Tzon Lamar Shani Oseh Gam Itzidi B'Chol Mash V'Kochi Lasod Lasik Chevtzizos. I'm doing as much as I can to get this ability to sit in Beit Hashem Koi Mechayei Liot Yoshem Beit Hashem. Hainu Shani Alech LeBeit Medrash. I go to Beit Medrash Lomod Liyishev Sham Lasok B'Torah. I go sit and study and work in Torah. Rak Shilati. My question is, Shagam Ken Shmei Hashem Itbarach She'azvein Lezev Hazakeh She'shivti Veit Hashem Kol Mechayei. I'm still requesting from Hashem. I'm still asking from Hashem that He should help me to my prayers. Shelo Yatrideni Shum Niyam Izeh. It shouldn't be held back. My mind wanders, and so forth and so on. Once again, another Yiddish piece that I'm going to fly over. Ani mechabes mishtadel kach shuchal Hashem b'Beit Medrash b'meshel Kol Mechayei. Dim lo yivakesh gam b'Paul shuchal Hashem b'Beit Hashem. As l'shav shualti. If I don't do it practically, then I've wasted my time. This is what the term is, why it's mentioned twice. So that's why
I have an idea for evakesh, pursue. That's what I ask and what I pursue.
Or pursue or seek.
Or seek. Yeah.
I seek. I'm seeking out to the answer
Seek
to my
is more
question.
like intent, but it
Right.
is pursuit. It's like I'm
But
actually
seek
doing,
means-
I'm working towards it.
Okay.
This example that he's talking about here, he says, a man who begs Hashem to make him into a Torah scholar,
Without sitting and learning.
he simply,
There's nothing.
But maybe I want to be a chef, so I want to go to the marketplace too.
So
See what's
if
going
you
on.
want to be a chef,
So
then
that's not physical. Yeah.
so then if you want to be a chef, then you go to chef school to learn how to be a chef, or you'll take lessons,
you gotta go
and then you got to pray too.
Okay.
So but this guy wants to be a scholar.
Yeah.
So in other words, whatever you want, you got to practically try to learn how to do it, and plus ask God to help you. You can want to be a chef, but you still got to ask God to give you the right connections, or help you, or make sure that you'll learn what to be a chef is, and not mix up salt and sugar.
Right.
Okay.
But a scholar is recognized by other people.
Okay.
That's the difference.
So's a good chef.
Yeah, good chef is also not.
Master chef.
If we learn.
No, but I'm talking about learning.
Yes, I know.
Yeah, because if we learn from, I think it was Ecclesiastes, King Solomon.
Right.
He says, I wanted to know about all these things, so I wander the world. He married a lot of women, and he had this, even though I had riches.
Life experience, yes.
Life experience is very important too.
True. So that's what he's saying. In order to be successful, he's dealing with scholars.
Then he discovered that.
He's dealing with scholars specifically because scholarship is related to thought and intellectual and spirituality. He's also dealing with scholarship because David HaMelech says, what do I want to do? Shifti b'beis Hashem kol yimei chayai. I want to sit in God's house. I want to sit in your temple all day. What do you do in the temple? You don't become a chef. He wants to be a scholar.
Rabbi, not everybody's King David or King Solomon.
No, but the analogy, so the analogy is not to you and me. The analogy is about going and bringing Mashiach, which is also spiritual. You got to do something. What can you do? Go to Israel, where it happens. Okay. Let me do the next two paragraphs because I want to be able to finish up until I want to get up to Chet, and I want to skip some of the stuff in the middle of this, anyways. Okay. So, V'alpize, what time is it? 5 to 7. Well, V'alpize Yuvan, where am I up to, right? V'alpize Yuvan gam divrei katuv, and through this you'll understand what the Torah says. V'achar yeshuv b'nei Yisrael b'kshuat Hashem v'David malkam. It says, this is going back to what he started with, that afterwards they will come back, they will return and ask Hashem for Hashem and for David. Hainu lo b'tfilah l'chud. They're going not just with tefillah, but it says, V'yivakshu, b'kshut Hashem. What does b'kshu mean? It's not she'elah. What do you say b'kshu means? Pursue, seek, action. Ritzon lo b'pol, Yadam Yivakshu Achazos. Practically, if you Tugam Lashon Ashkenaz, he says once again, got the Yiddish here, the Chapes B'Pol Derech HaChazral Eretz Yisrael. Sie werden Sachen verpeilt, okay, yeah. I can do it, but it takes me too much time. You can't just rely on prayer. You got to do some action. Together with tefillah, you still have to do bakshu, bakasha, seeking, pursuing. As you marim lahem siman bracha, then you'll get siman bracha by actually taking the first steps, which is to go to Israel. This is what Shimon Rashi says, until they actually return and seek it to go. Vivakshu, v'lomar shishol, not just ask for it. Kisheila moral tefillah, v'tefillah l'chud lo sagi, tefillah is not going to be enough. Rakivakshu b'pol masim, they have to seek it with actions and with activities. Shiasu gam pulot l'zeh l'chsor l'artzenu, u'malchut shemel beit David. So how are you going to do that? Vivakshu shloshtam b'pol, practically, v'yasu mitzidam kol mashi b'chodam l'asot, do what you can do. Plus, v'gamit palo azeh. As chafetz Hashem aslech b'yadam, aval lo yasu davar maseh b'zeh, they do nothing practically, rak yismechu al tefilot l'chud, they just rely upon tefillah alone, l'olam lo yasigu chefsam, nothing will happen. Now, he goes, says, now I'm going to tell you what the answer to the question is. Why we didn't get Mashiach yet. We're praying for Mashiach and Beit Mikdash. Why the Kevin Lo Daskub Klal Lo Zek Klal L'Shuv L'Atzenu HaKdosha. We didn't really do our full ishtadlus to go back to the land of Israel. Kain Lo Yelo Lil B'Tfilatzenu L'Chud Shel It didn't really help us just prayer alone. Kain Od Lo Inu Roim Eze Siman Bracha L'Tovah. That's why we haven't seen the answers to our prayers. Avalam Nasu Imanu Naseim Et Shalanu Gamapulot Masim. We do things practically. As Yavo Lanu Ezim and Hashemayim Idei Tfilot Shanam Et Palim. Then will be helped to us through our prayers. Gam Kain L'Shuv L'Atzenu HaKdosha, and we'll be able to go back to our Yisrael, etc., etc. Skip the next paragraph, and now to V'zeh HaLashon. So I'm going down to, this is the part he quotes in the Kuzari. It's the middle of page page 161. The Chaver in Sefer Kuzari states, and in the Hebrew, it's the middle of 111. The Zalashon. Good?
61?
No, 111. 161 in the English. 111 here. 111 here. Zalashon. I'm just skipping the short paragraph by Chavi Rashi. It's really repetitive. Zalashon Chaver Kuzari. This is what you've ever read Kuzari. Kuzari has an argument between the Khazarian king who argues with the Chaver. The Chaver is the Talmud Chacham. They use the term Chaver and Kuzari. So they're going back and forth, and at the end of the Kuzari, there's a whole argument about going back to Eretz Yisrael. And the Chaver, the Talmud Chacham, says as follows: the Kuzari, some of it said by the Chaver, some of it said by the king. It's a dialogue, it's written in a dialogue format. So Havon Hazeh, this sin, which means that that Shein Rabim Nechsafim Lashuv B'Pol Eretz Yisrael. So the scholar himself says this very sin that we do, that we're not having gone back to Eretz Yisrael. The king says, he's like, why aren't you guys back in Israel? Like you told me the whole sefer about the importance of Israel. What are you, the Chaver? What are you, the Talmud Chacham, doing here? So at the end of the sefer, he says, or at the end of the sefer, the Chaver says, you're right. This very sin that we have not gone back to Eretz Yisrael, this is holding us back from reaching the level that we were destined in the second temple. We should have been able to reach the level of what we had initially, which means whatever we were before, during the previous time. We should have reached the highest level if we had wanted to return, but we couldn't. It was held back to us. And I'm going to skip that part. But what happened? Just skip a line or two. So if we had all decided to return fully, everything would have been gone. But only some of them came. Most stayed in Bavel. And therefore, the divine presence only appears to a person if he's prepared for it. You put a lot into it, you get back a lot from HaKadosh Baruch Hu. We would reach out to greet God with a full heart and a soul that wanted to. We would see God, we'd bump into God the same way our ancestors in Egypt did. Like we say in Shemar, that you return your Shekhinah to Zion, to bow to Hashem in His holy mountain. All these prayers are tzif hazir zur. It's only like the chirping of a bird. I'm not sure what the English is in this piece here in the translation. This is only going to be, it's not worth it. What we're doing to this is simply worthless. We're not doing anything. And says the Kuzari writes, this is, I think this is the Kuzari writing, or I'm not sure if Rav Teichel is writing it. It might be Rav Teichel. This looks like sounds Rav Teichel. We say things with our mouths, but it's really false. We're really not concerned about it. We want to waken things up, but we're indifferent to this. We don't really take it to heart to return and to strengthen the people living there. And therefore, this is the source of the din, the real justice has caused all these sorrows that have reached to us because we haven't gone back. Wow. So this is what he says. He says it very clearly and forcefully that if you want to kind of bring Mashiach, you got to take the first steps yourself. Yeah. Okay?
Well, he's also saying that this is the reason for the Holocaust.
And that's exactly what he says.
Yeah.
The Holocaust, he says in different ways in different parts of the book. Sometimes he says it's the kick in the pants to go back there to Israel. Right? And sometimes he's saying it more forcefully, the fact that we didn't go until now, this is the punishment for it. Yeah. This is the opposite of what the Munkacher said. The reason for the Holocaust is the fact that they went back there to Yisrael. The non-religious bypassed us and went back there to Yisrael. He's saying the other way around. So it vacillates back and forth, and we've got to remember the Sefer is written at different times. He's on the run, and it may not be it's not written all together. So then he puts it together, yes. Okay, so that's pretty much where we're at. We're going to stop it here and pick it up in Mitzvah Hashem next week. Tomorrow we're going to do